Viewers beware, you're in for a scare.
Number 10. Hearing "Do you like scary movies?" over the phone. Long before smartphones, we had to rely on landlines to get in touch with others, and caller ID was not a guarantee.
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
This meant that a mysterious phone call was the perfect way to scare your friends, especially the horror fans among them. In the now iconic opening scene from Scream, Drew Barrymore's Casey Becker is home alone and receives a call from a stranger who's seen one scary movie too many.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
No matter how many times we watch this scene, there's something about it that always sends shivers down our spines.
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
According to Barrymore, the use of caller ID tripled in the US after Scream's release. So if your heart skipped a beat the next time your phone rang, well, you weren't the only one. Number 9. I See Dead People.
I see dead people.
As soon as Haley Joel Osment said those 4 words, The Sixth Sense cemented itself as a modern classic of supernatural horror.
Dead people like in graves and coffins?
Walking around like regular people.
It also had 90s kids seriously creeped out, looking at their friends twice to make sure they weren't actually ghosts. Even if the film's famous resolution has been spoiled for you, you should still see The Sixth Sense, especially if you love complex takes on horror.
Do you know why you're afraid when you're alone? I do.
M. Night Shyamalan's directing creates an atmosphere that's tense but also quite humane, and Osment, Bruce Willis, and Toni Collette all turn in career-high performances. But consider watching this one with the lights on.
Mama? No. Dinner is not ready.
Number 8. This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercial. PSAs used to rule the airwaves, and one practically every 90s kid remembers is this nightmare fuel starring Rachel Lee Cook. There was another version of the commercial that premiered in 1987.
This is your brain on drugs.
But this is the one all 90s kids know. In the ad, Cook uses an egg as a metaphor for the viewer's brain.
This is your brain. And this is heroin.
Then, to establish the effects of illicit drug use, she smashes the egg with a frying pan and creates even further wreckage in the kitchen.
It's not over yet.
This is what your family goes through. And your friends and mine.
The commercial has been parodied many times, including by Rachel Lee Cook herself in an episode of Robot Chicken.
This is what happens to the profits from your grandma's bake sale. This is what happens to the world economy.
We weren't asking our parents for eggs at breakfast for a while after it started airing.
Any questions?
Number 7. The Witches. Roald Dahl fans are doubly blessed. Not only do they get to read some of the weirdest and most exciting stories ever written, but they get great film versions too.
Hello, little boy. Come on in then.
The Witches might not have the same name recognition as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or Matilda, but if you like your family entertainment suitably twisted, give this a watch. The film about a young boy and his grandmother trying to stop some nefarious witches more than holds up by today's standards. Directed by Nicholas Roeg and starring a wonderfully evil Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch, the film perfectly captures the sinister fun of the original novel. It also contains some spectacular and shocking visual effects, courtesy of Jim Henson, who sadly passed away just before its release. Number 6. Chat Room Creeps. Nowadays, the idea of meeting someone in person who you originally met online isn't a big deal.
I've been talking to this kid in the Hyper Games chat room. He is so dope. What's the kid's online name?
But back in the 90s, anonymity reigned supreme on the internet, and you didn't always know who you were talking to on AOL Instant Messenger or other chat platforms.
He says if we want to come over, we can test it.
That mystery could be exciting, but it was also very dangerous, and parents and kids had a whole new type of stranger danger to worry about.
Here's the really cool part. I used that video camera to put your image in the game.
Wow, can we do it?
While talking with strangers on the internet has become a lot more normalized in the decades since, it's still good to remember to never give out your personal information to, or meet, someone you don't entirely trust.
Wow, look at all these guys that want to be my friend.
Number 5. Your Tamagotchi dying. It's not quite as sad as your real-life pet passing away, but if you had a Tamagotchi in the 90s, you did everything you could to keep that little virtual pet alive.
Oh, no. By all means, feed it. Play till your heart's content.
Look, Goldie, I took good care of her.
This wasn't something you could just pick up and attend to when you felt like it. If you forgot to pause, you might have been sound asleep only to be broken right out of your peaceful slumber by your digital companion needing to be fed.
When I feed mine, I tap the touchscreen and keep the bad away. Well,
You had to take care of your little pal right. Otherwise, it would meet an early demise. The heartbreak of losing a Tamagotchi was felt by countless 90s kids, and it always filled us with regret about what we could have done differently. Cruel world, he was so young.
I'm so sorry. I was up all night. All my money got stolen, and I haven't had a clock since my Tamagotchi died.
Number 4. The X-Files theme song. Agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully encountered plenty of paranormal terrors on the X-Files. But for our money, no alien creature was quite as creepy as the show's theme song. The opening credits visuals are spooky enough, but when paired with that eerie music, it enters a whole new dimension of frightening. Scary or not, it definitely made a cultural impact.
Is so sinister and spooky that it can basically make anything sinister.
The Mark Snow composed song was so popular, it ranked second on the UK singles chart for 3 weeks in 1996. After being turned into an internet meme, it is admittedly less chilling, but that's only because we poked fun at it.
Skinny cappuccino for Eric.
Just trust us on this one. You'd have been scared too if your first time was hearing it in 1993. Number 3. Y2K. Some people spent New Year's Eve like how Prince told us to, but others were a lot more on edge.
Hey, Homer, weren't you the plant's Y2K compliance officer?
Absolutely. Must have been hard debugging all those computers, Homer?
Doing what now?
Fear about the Y2K bug, a supposed computer error that would cause blackouts and worse, was prevalent towards the end of the 90s.
The end of the world is coming. Now, come on, get in your radiation suits.
And it was hard not to get swept up in the anxiety, at least a little bit. Computer developers worked diligently to make sure devices were Y2K ready. Roughly $300 billion was spent on preparing for Y2K, which is over $450 billion today.
So they check for this now. No, here's the thing. Initech's so backed up with all the software we're updating for the year 2000, they'd never notice.
The precautions were a good idea, but in the end, everything worked out without a hitch. We were able to keep our lights on, enjoy our continued use of technology, and look forward to something truly scary. 2000s fashion trends. Number 2. Are you afraid of the dark? Before American Horror Story or Black Mirror, the scariest show for 90s kids aired on Nickelodeon.
What do you think I am, some kind of clown?
Are You Afraid of the Dark was an anthology series where scary stories were told by the show's young midnight society and played out on screen.
I call this story The Tale of Old Man Porkering.
Lots of these stories were rooted in urban legends and other sorts of lore, but they were likely the first place many 90s kids had heard them.
We were playing hide and seek.
In the graveyard. Just the two of you.
And while things stayed family-friendly, the show did a great job of introducing 90s kids to horror. Now, who's ready to hear the tale of the dead man's float? Number 1. Goosebumps. Next to the Harry Potter series, the all-time highest-selling book series is Goosebumps. R.L. Stein's horror books have been published in more than 30 languages and have sold over 400 million copies around the globe. Those who grew up in the 90s know just how wonderfully spooky these stories are.
Oh, they better go! Let me go! Help me!
If you didn't spend at least part of your childhood reading Night of the Living Dummy or The Haunted Mask underneath the covers with a flashlight past your bedtime, were you even really a 90s kid?
My mask, it won't come off.
Stop kidding around, Curly Beth.
I'm not kidding around.
And we can't forget the television adaptation, which brought these spine-tingling stories to life in vivid detail. No matter how much new horror we encounter, nothing will give us goosebumps quite the same way.
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
What are you gonna do, smart guy?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.